Hey guys, are you a little skeptical or kind of shopping around trying to decide what's the best way to go as far as credit repair, or even if you should consider it? Well, you should be. You should be. You should be skeptical. And matter of fact, I'm hoping in the next few minutes I can shine some light and to help you discern what direction to go going forward here, or at least what's the next step to take. Listen, today's credit repair company, when it comes to trying to accomplish a needed credit score. In other words, hey, we're trying to buy a house, we're trying to refinance, I want to get the prime interest rate on the vehicle, I just want the benefits of having a great credit score. I don't think today's credit repair is the way to go. In most cases, yeah, they're going to get, in some cases, they're going to get lucky and things will line up. But in most cases, credit repair does not work. I wouldn't even consider a credit repair company unless they could guarantee me a credit score. Otherwise, I'm wasting my money, and I'm going to tell you why. When FICO, this is so important. Please bear with me for a few minutes through this, okay? When FICO, and let me make this clear too, the FICO that the lender uses, not your Credit Karma or your CreditWise or any one of your consumers, not even your consumer models through FICO yourself. Those are FICO's 8, FICO 10 models. Those are not the same as the FICO Classic that 90% of your lenders use, okay? Very specifically, they'll have, there's things that will move up and down which would be completely different than the real model, all right? Which one matters? The one that the lender uses, the one that determines a yes or a no or how much you pay in interest. That's the most important one, right? Well, when that FICO looks at derogatory, it treats all derogatory the same. Matter of fact, it doesn't matter how big it is or what it is. What makes a difference on how it affects the credit score is when. When did it happen? The more recent the derogatory, the more impact. And it can get tricky from there. Because it's not as far as when it happened in real life, it's more like how is it reporting? Did it sell back and forth with a new collection? And so there's a lot of factors in the aging that derogatory that determines how it affects FICO. And matter of fact, because of this, because it is so age sensitive, it tends to get tunnel vision. I got to get this in your head, okay? I got to show you this for it to make sense. So pardon my silly prop. Okay? But again, FICO treats a $25 medical collection the same as a $45,000 repo. The coding is the same. Okay? The difference is when did it happen? So let's pretend like this tube represents a timeline, 7 years on the end, right now being right in this end being right now. FICO lines that derogatory up in chronological order. Now look, everything from 2 years old and newer makes up to 75% of the history part of the credit score, which is the majority of it. Everything that's 1 year old and newer makes up to 75% of that 75%. In other words, progressively more impact the newer the derogatory is. Which means this, anything else that's over 2 years old should be only making less than 25% of the overall score. This was designed to emulate statistics, real statistics from thousands and thousands of different loans. Those statistics showed that if a person had a hard time 2 years ago, but they were paying things on time going forward, that statistically they were going to continue to pay, therefore lowering their risk level and raising the credit score. All right? So here's why credit repair companies do not work. In most situations, they send this shotgun effect that will not, yes, they might knock this one off, and they might knock that one off. But unless they get these up front, the scores are not going to move. Or if they do, it's going to be minimal. All right? Because imagine this. Again, this is how FICO looks at your credit. Lining everything up in chronological order. But guess what? If there's something here in the front, FICO can't see past it. It's blocking the view. So you could get all this stuff removed here, but if you do not get removed here, the score is not going to move. So it is no wonder I get so many people, well, I've been with this company for 2 years, or this company I did, and you don't pay them unless they get a deletion. But my scores haven't moved. I mean, I guess they did okay, but my scores didn't move. I still can't buy a house. Guys, man, that's a lot of money and a lot of time for something that is not helping you reach your goals. At the end of the day, reaching your goals is the number one thing. Okay, so they got the shotgun effect again. You have maybe 15 different derogatories on an average client. Over 3 bureaus, there's 45 derogatories. And they're like, oh, look there, we got a deletion. Oh, look, we got another deletion. We got another. And at the end of the day, once they're done, they maybe have gotten 40% off. That's a good company in today's standard. Might get 40% off. Not us, we do better than that, but a lot of them, okay? Well, if that 40%, it doesn't happen to be up here in the front, guess what? The score doesn't move. And that's just in payment history. There's so many other variables when we're talking about utilization, whether we add it and when to add it and other factors that we haven't even talked about here. But that alone is the biggest reason why people are wasting their time and their money, and they're knocking stuff off, and that's great, but it doesn't make a difference. And here's what happens. That company sells, comes back, and so the customer's like, well, and it all ended up coming back. Well, it did, and it actually sold, right? So you need to find a company that can also prevent and stop and freeze these accounts from selling in the future, which is what we do. And you do the best you can, which we'll get about 90% of them from selling back and forth. Again, you need a company that will guarantee and project a credit score. I was talking on the phone. We were looking at some different software companies, and we call the biggest one in the nation. He's the largest credit repair provider. They have thousands of companies that are under them. Again, I hate putting myself in the category of credit repair, but they got thousands of companies they work. And I'm talking to him, and he is blown away when I tell him that I guarantee my clients a credit score. And he said, what? You can't do that. It's not even possible. I said, we've been doing it for 12 years, and we do it very well. And I said, listen, we're not credit repair people. We're not debt settlement. That's a whole other industry. We're not in the business of just adding trade lines. We are FICO specialists. And that's the difference. And unfortunately, there's not a category out there for that. So we fall closest to credit repair. But I'm telling you, we are FICO specialists. And that's what we do, because at the end of the day, if you don't get your credit score where it needs to be, it's not going to matter. And the idea of thinking, well, the more I get off, the higher my score goes up, is not true. You could have 20 derogatory, get every one of them off, and not get this one off successfully, and guess what? The score's not moving. We have many methods we use to get this stuff removed, and then we got alternatives if we can't get them removed. We're able to be very strategic, very surgical, getting our customers at goal in a very reasonable timeline. There's none of this use this for 2 years BS or anything like that. Very reasonable time period, sometimes as little as days, and then we're able to, again, very specifically project that credit score. In the world of all the variables, it's amazing how accurate we can get, and we'll show you how to do it. The consultation is free. Now, they all say the consultation's free. Call them. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be a guy going over your negative, and it's going to be a big sales presentation. This is not a sales presentation. Our consultations, we're actually going to pull your real scores. We've had simulators. We're going to be able to simulate many different actions. You're going to see it. And we're going to be able to put a very specific plan together. And then we show you the plan, and then we tell you how to do it. It's not a sales presentation. You will be smarter than any credit repair guy out there, I promise you, especially in regards to your credit, by the time this is done. This one-size-fits-all doesn't work. I got people, well, I'll just YouTube it. Some of the worst information I've ever seen and heard in my life was on YouTube. The guy's got 4 million people views over what worked for him. Well, it might have worked for him. That does not mean it works for the next person. There's too many variables. But I will show you, and I'll help you discern. Do the consultation. If I could climb up on the roof and scream it, do the free consultation before you start paying off a bunch of debt, before you use a debt settlement company, before you do credit repair yourself or hire anybody. Do the consultation. It's free, okay? Matter of fact, I won't even charge you for the bureaus and the simulations, which is about $68 worth, okay? Do the consultation. I look forward to seeing you. Watch the next video. We're going to talk about why we don't do debt consolidation, why debt consolidation companies don't work. And we'll talk to you soon. You're going to learn a whole lot just in the next few minutes. Talk to you soon.